Welcome to my survival series, where I got a really goated spawn. I've been wanting to start this survival series for a long time now. Back in my very first video, I said I was going to make a survival series once the new update comes out, and of course the update's been out for about 4 months now, so it's about time I get started on this. Anyways, I started out by mining some wood, and then I found myself an exposed lush cave. I decided to jump down in there to get myself some moss, glowberries, and other lush cave exclusives. I made myself some tools and mined myself some minerals. I also got some glowberries that were hanging over a giant chasm. I have used you for all you were worth. And then, as I was mining some iron, I fell down deep into the lush cave and took a lot of fall damage. I had no food and it was turning night fast. But then I remembered that tropical fish spawn in lush caves, so I decided to jump down and see if I could get myself some food. When I did, I found a really cool water-filled cave with glowberries hanging from the ceiling. I decided to stay there till morning so I could gather some food and stay away from mobs. There I spent that whole night, just hunting tropical fish. I set myself a temporary little base camp so I could stay there. The one thing I did not think about was the fact that tropical fish only heal half a hunger bar, so it didn't end up being a very reliable food source. So that entire night was spent hunting tropical fish. I did get myself about 30, so hopefully that would be enough to survive a while, right? Right? Eventually, day 2 came, so I packed up my temporary base camp and decided to head out. I even got myself a little tropical fish as a friend. Alright Calvin, you and I are gonna change the world. I decided to climb up the mountain so I could get a good view about where I should go. On the way up I mined some coal and iron, and then I found... snow? Yeah, apparently I don't understand Minecraft as much as this world does. Anyways, I made a shovel and harvested myself some snow. Who knows when I'm gonna need that in the future. I harvested some cacti, and I ran across the mesa to see what other wonders could await me in this world. While I was in the prairie, I found myself some sheep, so I was finally able to make a bed. Unfortunately, one of the sheep was a light gray sheep, so I wasn't able to make a bed just yet, so I had to find some dye in order to make myself a bed. The majority of that day was spent trying to find some dye. I did mine some coal and iron on a nearby mountain, though. While I was searching for the dye, I found 3 beehives on top of a hill, so that was kinda cool. Anyways, I finally found some red tulips, so I was able to dye my wool red and make myself a bed. Why am I making a red bed, you ask? Well, only OG players would understand. Nightfall came shortly after that, so I decided to hit the hay. Day 3 consisted of mainly exploring. I found myself a chest plate and a ruined portal chest, and I found a jungle in the distance. But then I realized that my inventory is way too cluttered, so I decided to head back to the mesa and set myself up a temporary base camp. On the way back, I made a boat, and Calvin and I went merrily down the stream. I did come across an exposed dripstone cave on the way back, and so I decided to stop and get some dripstone. There were a lot of mobs in there, so I decided to make myself a shield. I didn't necessarily need the shield to win the battle, but I'm still glad I made the shield just in case I need it in the future. Anyways, I harvested some dripstone, and then I made it back to the mesa shortly after. And that's when I tried to decide where I was going to build my base. I thought, oh, this is a really cool spot. But then I saw the nasty cave right next to it. My tropical fish supply finally ran out, so I cooked some meat that I got from killing some animals. On the way back I found a really fast horse, so I decided to tame it so it wouldn't despawn. Once I get a saddle, this guy is going to be my main source of transportation. On day 4, I made it back to the mesa and decided where I'm going to build my base. It's not pretty, but once my house is there, it's going to look great. The majority of that day was spent gathering resources and hunting for fish. I even killed a squid and made myself a book and quill so I could keep track of the days. After I loaded my chest and fixed my tools, I grabbed my bed so I could head over to the jungle. The rest of day 4 was spent traveling, so there's not much interesting stuff here. Shortly after day 5 started, I made it back to the jungle, and now I was going to go in there and gather some resources. And we are now in the jungle. Welcome to the jungle! Honestly, there wasn't too much interesting stuff in the jungle. I got myself some jungle wood, some cocoa beans, some bamboo, and a buttload of melons, so that will help my food situation. I did find a ton of zombies in a cave, so I didn't know if there was a dungeon down there or if it was just a horde of zombies, but I wasn't looking to find out. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I really hope you enjoyed, and I look forward to continuing this survival series. Anyways, like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.